So let me first talk about this. First of all, I mentioned earlier 2 jobs, 2 income generating activities, 2 revenue streams, okay? So I feel for many of you, there are options when it comes to jobs that are coming into the picture. You might have recently left a job environment behind where you feel like they're not really appreciating me, the environment itself, there's no room for growth. I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's getting very tedious, and I don't feel any opportunities for advancement. So I feel like right now you are flirting with other options when it comes to your income generating potential. And you might have 2 options that are coming into the picture for you. And I feel as well, when I mentioned that, I feel like somebody is introducing you to a employer. Somebody is bringing the job into the picture for you. And they're going to leave it up to you to go ahead and pursue the next steps. So they're bringing it to your doorstep, but it's going to be up to you to make that first move and to follow up on that, okay? So it's really important to be a little bit more aggressive, assertive, and proactive for this month. So that means if it's coming to your doorstep, you need to start to apply. You need to make things move the way that you want rather than just saying, okay, they introduce me, they know the employer, I'm going to get the job. Don't assume these things, because I feel like the job might pass you by, and then there isn't communication, and then, they start hiring somebody else. So if you have something that is God-given, you need to run with it, and you need to be the one to follow up, and you need to be the one to apply to keep that, I guess, like, it's sort of like an opportunity given to you. You need to make the most of it, and you need to act in good faith because you are being recommended, or somebody's bringing it to you. You need to be extra proactive about not severing the ties and doing things from your end in order to get things rolling the way that you want, okay? So I feel like we are looking at many, many income generating opportunities that are coming through for this month. We have here electronic communications, filling out applications, putting pieces of ourselves out there here with the 7 of Cups. And the 7 of Cups is also like looking around, casting a wider net, looking at all the other options that we might not have considered in the past. And where you want to go is this space of total financial stability. You want to be in an environment where you can grow with the organization. You want an organization that also expands so that they have, multiple branches, multiple opportunities for career advancement. They have multiple people working for them. And the fact that they're generating wealth and constantly expanding basically means that the company or the organization is very stable. So there's a lot of money coming through. And I do feel that you want to be on the forefront of this. You want to work for an organization that is newly established and that is trying to, find its footing. And that has been even like, so that the job itself is stable so that you can stay with them for a long time. And I do feel that you are looking at all of these other options, and you might have several options to choose from. I feel like the options are there. You still need to put in your candidacy. You still need to do things through a formal, traditional channel in order for you to get your foot in the door. So don't say that, oh, it's a sure thing. I know this person in the organization. I'm going to get it. I feel like we need to humble ourselves, and we also need to do things in a procedurally correct way. Okay. So that's the first thing. The other thing that I am feeling here is, we have some financial concerns that are coming through. So we have here a 10 of Pentacles being reduced to the 5 of Pentacles. And this usually indicates, first of all, some type of a reduction, a significant reduction when it comes to income, okay? So for many of you, this might be moving out of the parental household, moving out of a very stable home environment where, like if you're still like a young adult and you're flying solo, you're leaving the nest, there is going to be a lot of budgeting that you need to do. So you need to find that balance between your spending, what you're making and what you're spending, so that you can continue to take care of yourself and continue to be financially independent. Because with this major drastic reduction, it's sort of like money being halved, okay? Money being cut down in half. And so we're going to need to be extra cautious about spending, and we're going to need to be extra resourceful. And so for many of you, there might have been, with the Tower here, and it's surrounded by Pentacles card. I feel like there might have been some major drastic reduction when it comes to your income. And I feel like it happened very, very suddenly. And I feel like it was unplanned for. It was not something that you anticipated. So you did not save up for the rainy day, okay? And at this point in time, you're still dealing with the residual impact. It might have happened in the month of July. You're still dealing with the residual impact. You're trying to save money, but I feel like money leaving your hands just as fast as it's coming in. So please, please, please get a rein on your spending and be very careful about buying essential items and, you know, being very careful with emotional spending, okay? I'm also feeling there are a lot of friction here when it comes to parents. If you yourself have children, I feel like there is a lot of friction when it comes to having to deal with children and having to teach them, you know, tough lessons about entitlement, tough lessons about being fair, and tough lessons about hard work, dedication, hard work. So if you are a parent and, you know, your children, you feel like they're relying on you too much financially, they're not able to be financially independent, I feel like you're going to have to exercise some type of tough love to allow these lessons to sink in. So you might have children that are very frivolous when it comes to their spending. You might not agree with the way they live their lives or the things that they are wasting their money on. And so this is the month in which you tighten the purse strings, because you don't want them to feel like that type of spending is okay. So you might need to tighten the purse strings. Likewise, if you have, if you yourself, if you're dealing with parents and you're still financially dependent on them, I feel like this is the month in which issues between what's mine and what's yours is going to come into the picture, where they might, for whatever, there might be some, you know, emergencies in the household, and they're just like, I'm sorry, I can't financially help you with that. You're going to need to find your own way to do this. And so you feel like that support system, that financial support system, being withdrawn. And I do sense that it is going to be, it's unexpected. And I also feel like it's coming out in a way where it's not being done in a way that is vindictive. It's being done in a way because the other person might not have the financial resources to help you, okay? I also feel like for those of you who have recently lost a job, if you have recently lost a job, you have a few options coming through, and I feel like these are temporary options that will be able to help you navigate, for the time being, these financial changes and these, it's like, it's a temporary job that is in the picture. It could be contract based. It could be short term. It could be seasonal. It could be temporary, but it's going to help you navigate these financial difficulties. And, you should accept the job. You might be like, oh no, I'm going to decline because it doesn't pay enough, and I'm going to look at other options. But I feel like you should accept these jobs mainly because it's going to, you know, serve its purpose as a temporary, kind of like as a temporary way for you to overcome some financial difficulties. And then I feel like once you're able to land other jobs, then you can leave this situation, and then you can continue to, you know, rebuild your wealth from the ground up. Okay. So I feel like really looking at what's given to us, being very, very appreciative, and also, you know, knowing that it's going to be very temporary. We are going to sail away from it. So it's important for us to grab opportunities on the financial front, on the professional front when they come in, without saying, oh, that's not enough for me. Because I feel like you're going to need it to navigate, you know, financial difficulties for this month. So take that job, or some of you might even be taking on 2 jobs in order to, you know, I want to say like, in order to patch up like enough income for yourself to sustain your old lifestyle. I do feel for this month, there is a major thinking reinvention when it comes to how you are spending your money, how you are able to achieve financial security and financial independence, okay? I feel like Libras, you are a very, very proud sign, okay? You're very proud. And I feel like for many of you, it's like you want to go solo. You want to take care of yourself and your own sense of independence. I feel it's quite strong. Air signs overall, it's quite strong. And so even if you are struggling with financial difficulties, you are very proud. You're not going to ask other people for help. You're just going to, suffer through it and, do it on your own and reduce your expenditure so that you can get through these difficult times. So I don't feel like that's the problem for you, but I do feel overall that some major restructuring when it comes to, really thinking about, do I really need that or do I just want it? And if I buy that item, is it going to be there for me long term? Am I going to use it long term? So being a little bit more cautious about where we are investing our money, where we are wasting money, that is really, really crucial. Okay. So the old ways of doing, where we are living extravagantly, where money is coming in, where we're operating from a place of abundance, I feel that you're going to need to really redefine what is important, what is an essential item, and how you can reduce spending. That's very important for you. Okay. The other thing that I want to mention here, and the first card out of the spread, we have here the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups is a very, very strong emotional connection that we have with a person. This is a really strong kind of like a sense of camaraderie, okay? And I do feel there is a major relationship as well that is being re-examined for this month. The moon usually indicates information coming to light. Things that are hidden are going to be revealed to us. In this regards, it can also indicate contracts, new contracts being signed, new contracts possibly for new work being signed around the full moon or the new moon that's coming through in the month of August, okay? So I do feel like major new contracts are going to be in store for you and major opportunities for you to meet new people that will help you in some way, that will, provide that financial abundance for you as well. But I also feel this element here about significant relationships need to be re-examined. And I also feel like they mention here something about power differential, like a power struggle, a power differential. So for example, let me try to get this message out. So I'm sensing like, you might think, you might have somebody on board with you and you're just like, oh, they're this way. It's like you've got them figured out. They're this way. They're like this. Consistently, they have been like this. But I also feel like you're dealing with someone who is also very unpredictable. And when the unpredictability with that person is going to come out when they are experiencing some type of external shock, okay? So you're just going to like, okay, this is, for example, this is Susie. She is always going to behave like this. Or this is Michael, he is always going to behave like this in this circumstance. That sense of predictability is going to be taken away for this month, because the other person is going through some external shocks in their environment and they're going to behave in a way that is very unexpected, unaccounted for. And so I feel that it's going to surprise you, okay? You think you know somebody really well, but I feel like they're going to behave in a way where they might, in the past, they might have been very supportive and emotionally available. Now they might withdraw their support and their assistance because they're not able to do it, okay? So there is some major energy here regarding emotional fluctuations that's coming through for you guys, Libra. I want you to be very careful when it comes to communication, and I cannot stress and emphasize enough the need for you guys to be completely, thoroughly independent for this month, okay? That means saving up for a rainy day. That means doing whatever you can to minimize having to rely on other people for things. So, having to rely on, for example, mom, dad, or auntie for a ride, having to rely on, you know, just other people for everyday things. I feel like the more independent you are, the less of a disruptive, the less disruption will be coming through for this month, okay? And going back to dosage and measurements, I want you to be very careful if you're working in some type of a technical field, even biological sciences. Be very, very careful about dosage, about measurement, about unit of measurements, about getting the numbers correctly, okay? So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope the reading has been helpful. I feel like it's a little bit of a topsy-turvy month for you guys.